that every single human being with a laptop computer and an internet connection should be required to give trading at least a shot.
Following Phil, his charting system has really been a huge impact on my career and my life.
I believe that every educated individual on planet Earth.
I would recommend Phil's gang to the mom and pop out there. I would recommend it to parents teaching their children. I would recommend it to grandparents.
Should do this. It's not for every single human being on Earth. I know this. But it's one of those things that you should try, because if you happen to get it right, if you happen to be one of the ones that this is for.
Follow the money. Follow Phil Grande.
Oh my God.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande, philsgang.com. That's right, philsgang.com. Join my gang for 10 days. It's free.
What's in front of you is a life of incredible joy, freedom, and independence.
These are volatile times in the stock market.
Market's up 200, then it's up 800, it's up 700.
How do you get the facts when investing?
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. If you're confused about the stock market, get unconfused. Go to my site, philsgang.com, and listen to my radio show every weekday at 3 Eastern. What is the market going to do? We know exactly what the market's going to do.
Phil's got the answers at philsgang.com.
There's no need for you to be losing money.
Check it out, philsgang.com.
Remember, when this market crashed in 2009, it should have never crashed, because the chairperson of these two committees, their job was to protect consumers, protect our investments, and they're supposed to ensure that our investments are being monitored. Where were they in 2009 and 2008? They weren't anywhere, because they don't do that. They take care of themselves. They protect themselves. They become richer. So you can't depend on these crooks in Congress. The stock market is a great place to be, but you just got to know this is a different market than your grandfather's market. So why don't you, for 30 days, join my gang, 877-600-GANG. Try it for 30 days, $39.95. Follow me. I tell you when to buy, when to sell, when to add, and when to run like hell. All I ask you, start making money. Please remember St. Jude.
Don't wait. Join Phil's Gang today and make profits. Go to philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.
The stocks discussed on Phil's Gang are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. If considering acting on information presented, we first recommend you seek out a competent, licensed professional for advice. Get ready for the radio show that tells you what Wall Street doesn't want you to know.
Oh, I'm a money magnet. Money, money, money's coming to me. Money sets me free. I'm a money magnet. Money, 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 money's coming to me.
It's your daily dose of how to manage your money. And now it's time for Phil's Gang on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. With your host, Phil Grande.
And the economy is still strong. It's not, strong like it was a year ago, but it is still strong.
Still strong. Not like a year ago. It's still strong. It's really strong. But these guys are nuts with their report. It's amazing. We had this long weekend. It gave me an opportunity to catch up on a lot of reading, financial reading. And some of the stuff I saw, I just couldn't believe, because I can't get to a lot of it. And it's just amazing how this administration just doesn't get it about spending. They don't get it about deficits. Deficits are killing us, especially the middle class. And what we found out last week, too, was really disturbing. Okay, I mean, the fake job numbers. I've been telling you all along that you can't believe the job numbers they give you. You got to go and look at Social Security, okay, because everybody has to pay into Social Security. You know exactly how many jobs. But anyways, the jobs have been fake. Now, what's amazing is last week we found out for the past year that Jared Bernstein, now let me tell you who Jared Bernstein is. Let's see if I have one of his cuts. You'll probably remember him. Yeah, he's a gangster that works for the White House. He's a fixer.
The U.S. economy is in solid shape, with real GDP growth supported by strong consumer.
This guy is just a total liar. That's what his job is. His job is to lie. And the White House and him and his staff, they all work for the president, obviously. And he has become the chief economic advisor. This is Jared Bernstein. They call him a fixer. And he's been working with the BLS for the last year, creating fake job numbers for the first Friday of each month. And it blew up last week. And what they do is they know that they can put in these fake numbers, and the first Friday of each month, that people are really waiting for that breaking news, because you see the market go up or down depending on the number. But they also know when they lie about the number, and then 4 weeks later they come back and they start revising the number down, nobody pays attention to the revised number. Wall Street's not going to bring it to your attention when they're trying to sell you stock. You think your broker goes, oh, no, we better not buy stock at this price. It's too expensive because you hear the job. No, nobody says anything about the revised job numbers. If they do, I mean, it's just in passing. That's it. Instead of saying, did you see this? Did you see the revision? This is insane. So, and the revisions are insane. So they know to cheat and when there's peak interest, and they know they can downgrade them. When they come back 4 weeks later, nobody's really paying attention. They don't care about the downgrade. They want to hear about the new number going forward because the market's forward-looking. So again, what they did is they took and said that they created 3.2 million jobs. And that's a bull-faced lie. They didn't. They lied about 434,000 jobs. 434,000 jobs they lied about. Just a bold-faced lie. They made them up. Now, people are going to ask, well, why? Why would they make them up? Well, there's a couple of answers to that. Because one is, you remember, this is an election season. And do you remember when they came out with a story about this manufacturing renaissance? That this was the new thing, that manufacturing under Joe Biden was going to be really, really strong, and they're going to just really take manufacturing and really push it, and that was the big story. That's what the fake business news network ran with. New York Times, everybody was running with that fake story that manufacturing was booming. And again, even the New York Times, but none of it was true. Now, again, this guy Barry, he knew he had his hands full, okay, with getting Biden reelected. He knew that. But Bernstein, if you know the guy, I know him, if you know the guy, Bernstein is rotten to the core. And he has no moral sense about the truth than Joe Biden does. So they worked out, they worked together beautifully, both of them. So they declared, remember when Biden came in office, remember he declared war on oil. And then he turns around and he introduced the most inflationary policies. Remember the COVID, the American COVID Rescue Plan, the Inflation Reduction Act, and the Omnibus Bill, and Ukraine. I mean, that was tremendous inflation. And this guy Bernstein understood that. And he knew it was going to be really tough to try to get this under control, because those three bills alone, and the fact that he went to war, okay, on our oil drillers. So he knew that. So again, he had to come up with something. And he came up, like I said, with the story that this new day was here, and that manufacturing was going to boom, and that and because remember the other thing that happened too, he had to come up with something, because remember, since Biden was in office, inflation is still up. Groceries still up 20%, autos still up 20%. I'm talking to today. Yeah, groceries still up 20%, autos still up 25%, rent still up 20%. And so my point is, he had to come up with some story. He had to come up with something to get this guy elected. And so they came up with this manufacturing, this renaissance. And boy, they played that like a fiddle, unbelievable. And that's all you heard, remember? This was before This is before the jobs, right? We have a strong labor market. That was another lie, but this was before that. This was the one they thought they were going to bet on and get him reelected, and they lied to all of us. So, anyways, they knew that they could convince Americans that we're going to have this new American industrial power. The president was going to let it loose, and they knew they could create an illusion. They knew that they could create an illusion because all the other illusions have worked. Why not this one? And so the fake business news network was behind it. The New York Times was behind it. This whole thing about manufacturing, that's all you heard. And again, that's why you keep hearing how the economy is so strong because of manufacturing. And it's just not true. So when you had the liberal press, the fake business network, all behind this lie, they kept it going. And people felt, well, gee, things are turning around. Well, guess what? It wasn't turned around. And as long as they've been masking it, it's now they find, this isn't working. The truth is coming out. Manufacturing is terrible. We're in the hole big time. But 68% of Americans really believe in this new renaissance of manufacturing. And they kept on reporting this. Well, now everybody knows that, too, is a big fake. That was a big lie. Just like the job numbers was a lie. This was another lie. So the last thing they could come up with to try to get Joe back in office was they had to come up with this soft landing. That's what you're going to hear next. So in other words, the manufacturing, the new renaissance of manufacturing, that was a bold-faced lie. Okay, and everybody knows that manufacturing's at a 40-year low. It's just awful. I mean, there's nothing. I mean, matter of fact, they've been losing for the last 2 years. Every one person they would hire in manufacturing, that one person would be replacing 5 lost jobs. Never reported. You never could find that in the press. Imagine that. One new job, 5 people would lose their job. But they kept telling us how great manufacturing is.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG. There's nothing better than learning from the experts, especially when it comes to investing your hard-earned money.
Hi, this is Phil Grande, host of Phil's Gang Radio Show. At Phil's Gang and philsgang.com, I have one goal in mind: to help you become a skilled investor in the stock market and find your financial freedom. With the Working Investor Program, you will learn what Wall Street doesn't want you to know. You'll develop skills like selling short and how to profit, even in a stock market crash. This is the real world investing information that will give you the edge to be successful in the stock market. No gimmicks, just real strategies, and I'll make the offer even better with a 10-day free trial of the Working Investor Program.
Once you're in the gang, you're in the know. And with the free 10-day trial of the Working Investor Program, there's no reason not to give it a try.
Become a Phil's Gang member and reclaim your financial freedom. Go to philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com.
To be a successful investor, you need to stay current with the daily changes in the economy and the stock market. Phil Grande and philsgang.com can be your guide to becoming a better investor. Try the free 10-day trial at philsgang.com for the Working Investor. From the opening bell to the closing, stay informed with what's happening in real time. The Working Investor Program includes full access to the Phil's Gang website, a morning update on what to look for that day on Wall Street, a market wrap on that day's trading, plus seminars, training, and tools to help you become a better investor. Go to philsgang.com for a free 10-day trial. After that, it's just $59.95 a month for membership, daily updates, training, software, and the best investing advice every day. You can invest with the best. Phil Grande and philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. philsgang.com.
You're not alone. 80% of those in the stock market, just like you, lose money. Hi, I'm Phil Grande, philsgang.com. Why do they lose? Because they don't know how to short stocks in down market. That will change once you use my patent Pro 2 color-coded chart. It works. The technology works. And it not only gives you an edge on the upside, but Pro 2 will put a smile on your face on the downside. That's right. Check it out. Free 10-day trial at philsgang.com.
When you listen to the advice of Phil Grande at philsgang.com, you'll find investing in the stock market makes sense with the right guidance.
People keep saying to me, boy, things are hard. Things are tough. Boy, the market's really screwed up. And I don't agree with them. For us here at Phil's Gang, we make it so it's simple. It doesn't matter if the market's bad or good. We consistently do well because we make it simple. And just like for my listeners on the radio or on the internet or my podcast, we make it simple. We try to break it down so you really understand why the market is going up or why there's continued inflation or why the bank rates are going up. So you understand. Especially yields. The most important thing to understand how yields work. Just what we do. We work hard at it.
Trusted advice, easy to understand strategies that will make you a better investor. Get all the details at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. The holiday season is a wonderful time to be with family and friends, and a good time to learn how to improve your investing strategies in the new year. Phil Grande at philsgang.com can help. Join Phil's Gang and enjoy coffee talk as Phil goes over the markets every morning before they open. Engage in live trading classes. With the Working Investor Program, you'll have access to the tools to control your financial future. Success in the new year is just a click away. Go to philsgang.com. philsgang.com. You can be a successful investor in the stock market by knowing what the market is going to do.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. God, you go nuts listening to these shows on TV, Kramer, any of them. I mean, they're giving you total garbage. Garbage in, garbage out. One day they tell you, buy this stock. Next day, don't buy the stock. Then you have two people on the show. One guy saying buy it, the other guy says don't buy it. So the question is, what the hell do you do? Well, we don't have questions here at Phil's Gang. And they never have to ask the question, what do you think the market's going to do? My members always know what the market's going to do because they've learned how to follow the money. That's right, follow the money. You don't follow fundamentals. You follow the money. And what is that? That's volume. That's the buyers and the sellers. And the other thing, you got to learn how to sell a stock as well as buy a stock.
Follow the money. Follow Phil Grande.
Check it out, philsgang.com. Go to my podcast, YouTube, and Rumble every day. That's philsgang.com.
Welcome back. Learn, invest, and make profits with Phil Grande. Simply go to philsgang.com. Now, here's Phil.
Welcome back to Phil's Gang. Start your new year right. 10 days will work with you. It doesn't cost you a penny. You'll be trading right with us. We take 6 stocks, and the same 6 stocks we're in here. In Phil's Gang, we're in those same 6 stocks all year long, plus an ETF, and plus we have bonus stocks. We have about 10 different bonus stocks, but the key is to stay in that core 6 stocks, and you'll make money when they go up, you'll make money when they go down because you're going to understand how to short, but you're going to understand the stock market. You're going to understand what's going to tell you in advance that the market's going to go down or a stock's going to go down. You don't know that. You're depending on somebody else. But these others, they're not on your side. They're not on your side. Nobody's on your side that buys the stock first and marks it up and sells it to you. I mean, once they did that, and they went to discount brokerage and they started to do that, it was over. And there was no longer any fiduciary relation. And talk about fiduciary relation. We don't have a fiduciary relation with Washington. We don't have a fiduciary relation with our Congress, our presidents. We don't. I mean, people don't realize that this stock market, I keep saying we're going to be in this hell of a crash, and nobody believes it. Nobody believes it. And they think it's just going to go on forever. Well, for it to go on forever, they got to go back to 2008 and do what they did in 2008. They got to go back and do QE. They got to bring the short-term Fed rate down to 0. It's at 5% right now. They got to bring that down to 0. Do you understand what that would mean to do that? First of all, if they're going to bring it down to zero for the purpose to go into each bank and be able to give them that money at zero, and by the way, remember, they also print money to keep that bank alive so they can go and give the money to the CEO of the company. I mean, the Fed can't go to the CEO and say, here's interest-free money, now buy your own shares. That's why they keep the Fed, that's why the Fed keeps their banks alive. They're the feeder. They're the feeder to the crime. So if they're going to continue what they've been doing for 14 years and why we have so much inflation, that inflation came from printing. And now everything's falling apart. And everybody believes, oh, everything's fine. Everybody's believing the story we're having a soft landing. You can't have a soft landing. A soft landing, are you nuts? Do you understand what a soft landing is? That's a bunch of BS. Okay, to have a soft landing, you have to have the sun, the stars, and the moon all to line up perfectly at the same time. As in, interest rates need to be rising. At the same time, inflation needs to be declining. And at the same time, economic GDP growth needs to be expanding. So listen to what I'm saying. So the sun, the stars, and the moon all have to line up perfectly, as in interest rates need to be rising. At the same time, inflation needs to be declining. At the same time, GDP growth needs to be expanding. Now you know why it's impossible. It only happened once in 70 years. But they're now telling us this is what we're going to have is a soft landing. They're lying to us just like the same way when Jared Bernstein went in and started to work with the president. Both of them are the same. They're both exactly the same, these two guys. They have no character when it comes to telling the truth. And that's when they came up with the idea, remember, of when Biden came in and he put his programs together. First he cut oil. Then he came in with three of his different plans, economic programs that were so much inflation. Those three programs increased inflation by 40-year high inflation. These three programs are insane. So they came in and they lied about those programs. It was helping everybody, and the Reduction Act was helping. None of that was working. None of it was working. And then that's when they came up with this new plan. So in other words, what if the American COVID plan didn't work? The Inflation Reduction Act didn't work. Omnibus bill didn't work. Ukraine didn't work. What does that mean didn't work? It means they're printing money, and the dollars in your wallet are going down, and you're paying much more for the same stuff you paid a year or 2 years ago. You're paying much more. That's what he did to you. Then when that didn't work, it started to blow up. They said, well, let's create another story that will work. Let's start with manufacturing. Okay, we'll come out with a story of manufacturing. We got this new manufacturing renaissance. Well, that didn't work. And you had the fake business network, you had the New York Times, you had all the liberal newspapers behind the president, behind Bernstein, coming out and lying to us and saying it was working. Matter of fact, when they came out and said it was working, guess what? It wasn't. Every one person was hired, they're losing 5 jobs. 5 jobs. But they never reported any of that. Never. That this is an illusion they created. But yet, here's what they're telling us.
The president's Investing in America agenda is bringing manufacturing back to America, strengthening America's energy security.
That never happened.
Manufacturing rebounding at a faster rate than in the last 40 years.
It never rebounded. That's a bold-faced lie. When they put that together, I remember they came out and they said, this is going to be a central point and the return of American industrial power. I remember Bernstein saying that. I said, what the hell is he talking about? He even set up his own fake National Council on Manufacturing to produce stuff, to throw stuff out there, how great, get to the newspapers and how great things are going when it wasn't. If it wasn't for the press being with Joe Biden, holy God, that would have never happened. But remember, the press and the Democrats are one. So that didn't work. And what happened? More and more people got laid off. Now, productivity is down 70%. in manufacturing's at almost a 40-year low. So that didn't work. So next came, okay, we got one last thing we can do to get Biden to be president, because everything he did blow up. Manufacturing blew up. That didn't work. His programs, his 3 programs didn't work. His monetary policies didn't work. His destruction of the oil industry didn't work. There's one thing now that they're working on. So they think if they pull this off, that he'll become the next. He'll get another term, and we'll go over that when we get back, and we'll start working on some stocks. This is crazy.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
When you listen to the advice of Phil Grande at philsgang.com, you'll find investing in the stock market makes sense with the right guidance.
People keep saying to me, boy, things are hard, things are tough. Boy, the market's really screwed up. I don't agree with them. For us here at Phil's Gang, we make it so it's simple. It doesn't matter if the market's bad or good. We consistently do well because we make it simple. And just like for my listeners on the radio or on the internet or my podcast, we make it simple. We try to break it down so you really understand why the market is going up, or why there's continued inflation, or why the bank rates are going up. So you understand, especially yields. The most important thing to understand how yields work. Just what we do. We work hard at it.
Trusted advice, easy to understand strategies that will make you a better investor. Get all the details at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande of philsgang.com. Over the years, I've successfully taught tens of thousands of investors how to navigate the market with confidence. Become a Phil's Gang member and receive the training, the advice, and the software that will take your investing to the next level. I have a team comprised of successful investors, all with proven track records. And the Phil's Gang software is easy to use, painless to navigate, and tells you exactly when to buy, when to sell, when to hold, when to run like hell, even short. Learn about common market mistakes and how to minimize them. You don't have to be a seasoned investor to benefit from Phil's Gang and platform. No matter what level investor you are, my strategies for investing are designed to put you on the path to success. Sign up for the 10-day free trial to see our platform in action. Avoid market pitfalls and start winning with Phil's Gang. Learn more at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com.
Why are investors listening to Phil Grande of philsgang.com?
You know why people listen to my show? Because I make it simple. When you talk about the stock market, they make it so complicated. I make it easy to understand. For the average investor, the Main Street investor, most of the time, these guys, it's like they're talking to each other. We talk directly to you and we listen to you.
Invest better with the sound advice of Phil Grande at philsgang.com. If you want to invest your money and grow your wealth, listen to this.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. I get so tired of listening to the same garbage every day, listening to the fake business news network telling you why you should buy this stock, why you should buy, and they're always wrong. Join my gang, philsgang.com, free for 10 days. You're going to learn when to buy a stock and when not to buy a stock. Hey, years ago, it was different. You could buy a stock based on fundamentals. You could buy a stock based on earnings. You could buy a stock based on PE ratios. Those days are gone. That ended with QE. That ended when they financially engineered the market in 2008. Gone. Now you got to follow the money. And we have the knowledge because we have the chart. Pro 2 color code chart tells you when to buy, when to sell, when to run like hell.
For a limited time, you can join Phil's Gang free for 10 days.
Check it out, philsgang.com. Get the truth, get the knowledge, and understand how the market really works.
I've been a Phil's Gang member since 2014. Over that time, I've generated over six-figure profits. Following Phil, his charting system has really been a huge impact on my career and my life. I would recommend Phil's Gang to the mom and pop out there. I would recommend it to parents teaching their children. I would recommend it to grandparents. If you really trust in their system, you will do well.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call
call at 877-600-4264.
At St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, we're fighting against childhood cancer every day. At the heart of this battle are our donors.
Most of us want to make some type of difference in the lives of others. St. Jude does miraculous work.
The fact that no one has to pay, it's a place where everyone is treated as an equal.
Everybody is welcome here, and it doesn't matter your religion or what part of the world you're from, all that is taken away. It just gives you some hope.
It's just a nice feeling to put your energy into something that really does genuinely make a difference in a child's life.
There's just no greater gift. If we have the ability to help, then we have a responsibility to help.
Finding cures, saving children. St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Find out how you can help at stjude.org.
Welcome back. Are you ready to make profits in the stock market? Why not check out philsgang.com or give us a call, 877-600-4264. Now, here's Phil.
Welcome back to Phil's Gang. Okay, so the market is down. Now, remember what I told everybody? I said we're going to get one big rally before the market starts correcting or starts to crash. Doesn't mean this market's crashing here. They're going to run up another time. You're getting about 2 more rallies. I would say by the time between now and March is where I think the crash will occur, because what they're facing in March are the 180 banks. 180 regional banks have losses $650 billion, and remember what the Fed did? They set up the bank term funding program, where the CEO of the bank to go to the Fed, and the Fed will give them money, and then they can go back to the bank, put it in there, and when people come to take their money out, they can cover it. Unlike the 3 original banks who went down in March of 2023. But that's a big deal that's hitting us. And don't forget, the major banks, Citi, Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan, they're also insolvent. They've been insolvent since 2008. But nobody realizes that. So I want to get back to, again, so when Biden took over and inflation was at 1.4%, please remember this, 1.4%. It's today 3.4%. That's an increase of inflation, 142%. How do you get reelected with that? You continue to create lies. You continue to create illusions. So the first illusion is we're going to kill the oil companies because they're rich guys. And we're going to shut down the pipelines. Okay? How'd that work out for Biden? Then his next plan was more inflation. More inflation. So he put in the American COVID plan, Inflation Reduction Act, the Omnibus Bill, made sure a war got going with Ukraine. How'd that all work out? That didn't work out either for him, did it? All inflation. So you got the oil inflation. You got the monetary policy, these 4 crazy policies. Tremendous inflation. So they had to come up with something else. That's when they came up with the manufacturing idea. The Renaissance. That was dumb because manufacturing is gone. You can't compete with China. I'm sorry. Manufacturing will never come back. Manufacturing's at a 40-year low. You'll never get manufacturing back in this country. Never. You got to be kidding yourself to think you are. So when they came out with that scheme, they're going to revise the American industrial power. That's what Bernstein kept saying. Well, that didn't happen. That was a lie. It didn't work. But they kept it going for a long time because they had the liberal press on their side. They had the fake business network on their side. And Joe Biden would keep the illusion going. He'd keep the illusion going. And the White House, they would keep it going by telling us all these stories, how great things were going with manufacturing.
Manufacturing rebounding at a faster rate than in the last 40 years.
That's a lie. They never rebounded. How could you rebound when for every one job he created, we lost 5? So that manufacturing renaissance was a lie. There's only one thing left to do. He's got to deliver a soft landing. The White House realizes, okay, everything else didn't work. Even though they had the press on their side, and most Americans believe it, didn't work. Didn't work. So that's when they decided to start stacking the jobs. If you can't create the jobs, then let's stack the jobs. And we're not going by month. They claimed they created 3,140,000 new jobs, which was a lie, because 443,000 jobs were fake. But they were able to do it because they knew the first Friday of each month, everybody's interested in that new job number. And when they come in and revise and bring down the lie, they report, okay, they have to revise downward the number. Nobody's paying attention to that. Nobody's paying attention to that. It's like when you go by a car accident. You look at it, everybody's beat up, bleeding, you drive by slow. But the next time you go by, you don't even remember it was there. It's the same thing. Or they say in a newspaper about you, you robbed a bank. You robbed the bank and shot 2 people. They have your name there. Oh, gee, they made a mistake. We'll reprint it for you. Don't worry about it. A month later, it's this tiny little thing in back of the comics. Well, this is the same thing. They knew what they're doing. Now they're sitting here, and this is the one. This is the one. When they started with this, the soft landing, stacking the jobs, how stupid they think we are. How stupid. And think what they did. Just take, and they would come out with a report, and they took, like in December, they came out and said we had 216,000 jobs. That was a bold-faced lie. We didn't have 216,000 jobs. But what they didn't report, let's say that was true. What they didn't report, they didn't mention 1.5 million full-time jobs we lost. But they didn't come out and say that. And they didn't come out and say they were replaced with 762,000 lousy part-time jobs. That wasn't mentioned. I'm sure it's in their numbers and so forth, and you can see it if you're researching, but nobody came out and said, did you see this? We lost 1.5 million jobs. No. So again, they're stacking the numbers. That didn't work. Now the soft landing. The soft landing's a real problem. Because, like I said, you got to have the interest rates going up at the same time. You got inflation declining at the same time. You got GDP growth going up. That combination is so rare. It happened once in time in 70 years. And that's why the White House, led by this Bernstein, okay, and you know, they keep coming up with, these again, lies. They always come up with something else. But that's not going to work either. Now they're saying they're going to cut rates and everything's going to be fine. No, they can't. They're not going to cut rates. How can you cut rates? And they can't get the 10-year every time they try to get the 10-year Treasury yield before 4%, goes down a little bit, comes right back, goes down, comes right back up. Inflation is they created such massive inflation. There is no way they can get rid of that inflation. No way. No way. It's insane. But you can make a lot of money. You can make a lot of money when this market starts going down, and you can make a lot of money when they rig the stock market to go up. But here's the real problem that nobody wants to talk about. Deficits. In the past 12 months, they've increased $129 billion. And you're telling me everything's fine? We're going to have a soft landing? 12 months, $129 billion. That's up 52% from last year. And we're going to have a soft landing? And why do we have these deficits? Because Congress and Biden spend more money than they take in revenue. So expenses keep going up, tax receipts keep going down, and they keep telling us everything's fine? You got to be kidding me. October and December of 2023, the deficit was $510 billion just for October and December. What, are you nuts? And they're going to cut rates? They're raising rates. They have to. Unbelievable. This Inflation Reduction Act, remember how they promised there was going to be a significant deficit cutter? Deficit cutter in 8 weeks? A staggering $510 billion increase? What are you, nuts? Then they blame it on you and me, the consumer. We're spending too much money. Then they blame it on the Russian war in Ukraine. When it's all government spending. All government spending. It's insane. So what do you do with stocks? What do you do with the stock market? What's going to happen? We'll talk about that when I get back. Join my gang for 10 days. It's free.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG. Want good investing advice from someone you can trust? Listen to Phil Grande.
With what's going on today in the economy, especially the stock market, it gets really complicated, but it doesn't have to be. My job is to make it simple, to get through the fog. And I think I do that, and I think I do a pretty good job of that, especially why you should be buying a stock, or why you should be in the market, or not in the market, or shorting.
Invest wisely with the knowledge of Phil Grande at philsgang.com. Are you a stock market investor without all the information?
What, are you nuts? Market's going up, market's going down. We're getting all this bad information.
How do you invest intelligently? Phil Grande can show you.
If you want real information and you really want to know what the market's going to do and you want the truth, go to my site, philsgang.com, and also listen to me on my radio show every weekday at 3 o'clock Eastern.
Phil's got the answers at philsgang.com.
That's philsgang.com, where you get the truth and you get the information you need about the market.
When the stock market is up one day and down the next, you need experienced advice from a pro.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. I know you're sitting there watching the stock market. You're going, what? Is this nuts? Market goes up 700 points. Next day goes up 800 points. Then the market goes back down. Then it goes back up. What that is volatility.
You want to invest your money and grow your wealth. How do you invest intelligently?
But you got to anticipate what's going to happen with the market. And that's what we give you. Information so you can anticipate in advance what the market's going to do, so you know what stocks to buy, you know what stocks to short. It's all about having good information and anticipation. You got to anticipate. The one thing you can't do is rely on your brokers. Listen.
Our responsibility begins and ends with our partners and our shareholders, and that's it.
What are you, nuts? Partners or shareholders? You're not included.
Check out the free 10-day trial and follow Phil to investing success. Learn more at philsgang.com. philsgang.com. If you want to invest your money and grow your wealth, just listen to Phil Grande.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. There's many reasons to listen to a radio show, but I think to listen to my show, you get the truth, you get clarity, and you get great information.
No matter what level of investor you are, Phil's Gang strategies for investing are designed to put you on the path to success.
You know what? Most of all, it's fun. philsgang.com. Clarity, good information, and fun.
If you want to invest your money and grow your wealth, listen to this.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. You know, I get so tired of listening to the same garbage every day, listening to the fake business news network telling you why you should buy this stock, why you should buy, and they're always wrong. Join my gang, philsgang.com, free for 10 days. You're going to learn when to buy a stock and when not to buy a stock. Hey, years ago it was different. You could buy a stock based on fundamentals. You could buy a stock based on earnings. You could buy a stock based on PE ratios. Those days are gone. That ended with QE. That ended when they financially engineered the market in 2008. Gone. Now you got to follow the money. And we have the knowledge because we have the chart. Pro 2 color code chart tells you when to buy, when to sell, when to run like hell.
For a limited time, you can join Phil's Gang free for 10 days.
Check it out, philsgang.com. Get the truth, get the knowledge, and understand how the market really works.
Short on time, but want to invest in the stock market? Let philsgang.com help you. For only $39.95 a month, you get complete access to all of Phil's powerful powerful investing programs, videos, and resources.
That works for me. Log in, watch the videos, and make profits.
Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. philsgang.com. Welcome back. Are you ready to make profits in the stock market? Why not check out philsgang.com or give us a call, 877-600-4264. Now, here's Phil.
And welcome back to Phil's Gang. Join my gang free for 10 days. And you're going to work right with us alongside of us. Myself and Steve and Willie, we trade 6 stocks, the same 6 stocks all year. Same 6. And then we have, with those 6 stocks, we have a bonus pool of about 10 stocks. And we can, we also work on those 10 stocks. We, change them out. So we have a very, very small group. Out of 8,000 stocks to choose from, we have a pool of about 10, and we have 6 that we always are religious to these stocks. We never change these stocks. And that's how you make money in this business. No longer can you sit back and invest long term and think you're going to be okay. Those days are over. Those days are over. You really think the stock market should have gone up 1,200% in 169 months? Does that make sense? And it only went up because 7 stocks, never mind 7 out of the S&P 500 stocks. How about 7 out of the 8,000 stocks that trade every day? That's what brought it up. These 7 stocks out of 8,000. Think of it that way. We've never seen deficits like this. In 1 month, we increased the deficits $129 billion. I mean, we spent more money we took in by $129 billion. And then in 2 months, we spent $510 billion more than we took in, and they don't care. Congress doesn't care because that's inflationary, and the guys who put them in Congress get rich over the inflation that the $129 billion, the $500 billion creates. So what do you and I do? We take advantage of it. Once you join our gang, and for the first 10 days, not going to cost you a penny, you'll learn to always be in that position. So you'll be always out in front of the market. So right before the market's going to go down or the stock's going to go down, you're going to know. Because you're going to know how to read the bond market. Most important thing, the bond market. You're also going to have assistance with our stock chart. We designed our own charts. Our design shows the way the algorithms show us the money flow. Where's the money going? It's always about money. I could care less about fundamentals. What do I care about? Free cash flow. I had to care a lot about those years ago when I used to sit there and read statements. It was tough because I was dyslexic. But the things you got to be always thinking about is this. Make sure you stay where the big institutions go. They're going to always be in the banks. They're always going to be in tech. They're always going to be in oil. They're always going to be in gold. They're always going to be in those. Never mind the discretionary stocks. Everybody starts running to the discretionary, to the defensive. Hey, everybody runs to those stocks, but you never make any money with those. Never do you make money with those. It doesn't work that way. Okay, that's not where the money goes. I mean, if you stay with discretionary stocks, you should stay with only the best, like Home Depot or Nike, Starbucks, McDonald's. That's the only discretionary stocks you should be invested in. If you're going to stay with staples, make sure you're staying with the best. Target, Costco, Coca-Cola. Those are the best. And otherwise, you're wasting your time. You know, this idea I'm going to buy a defensive stock and I'm not going to get hurt, that's BS. If that was the case, then how come so many people lost money in the 2008 crash, the 2018, 2020, and the crash that's coming? So the most important thing to learn, because the market's forward-looking, is how to read the bond market. And that's easy to do. If I can do it, you can do it, okay? And the bond market, remember the 5-year Treasury, people get confused. That is the Fed. That's the Fed. They control that. They always try to bring that down as low as they can so they can provide money to the banks, so the banks overnight can loan to each other to keep the banks alive. Why does the Fed need the banks to stay alive when they're broke, when they're insolvent? Do you know the 5 biggest banks in this country, the investment that you know, the Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, Citi, JP Morgan, do you know they have losses, unrealized losses of what, 260 billion? Nobody knows that. The reason they're kept alive is because the Fed will print money and give them the money, and then they take the money and give it to the company. The Fed can't go and give it to the company. It has to go through the bank. Do you understand? And then the company gets the money free, so they can keep on buying their own shares. And what do they do by buying their own shares? They just reduce the amount of outstanding shares that you and I can buy from them. And when you reduce the outstanding shares, your company could have lost that month $10 million, but your stock price will still go up. That's why it used to be illegal. Your stock price will still go up. If your company loses $100 million and you go in that month and you buy your own shares and you limit the shares from 1 million to, let's say, 900,000, your stock will go up from $15 to $25. And the company lost, let's say, $10 million, the stock will still go up. See, that's why you got to follow the money, and that's what we do, and that's why we designed our own charts that you can follow the money that gives you a buy and sell signal, which is part of the free 10 days. But the deficits, you know, if you consider these deficits, we are so screwed, and nobody thinks so. Nobody cares. It's the deficits that are going to kill us, finally going to get us. It's the deficits. There's nothing worse than a deficit. Nothing. I mean, when you sit there and blame these deficits on the consumer, how bad is that? The consumer, he's not creating, I mean, this is insane. The consumer, why don't they tell the truth? If you're losing in 12 months, $129 billion in deficits, up 52% in 12 months, shouldn't Congress or the president be honest with the people and come out and say so? And say, here's how we're going to fix it, instead of lying and saying, oh, it's the people. They're the problem. They're spending too much. Are you kidding? They're not, and the other people don't. You know, they're saying about they're going to have these rate cuts. Where are they going to get the rate cuts from? They're lying to you. They're not going to cut rates. So you got to be in the stocks that go to benefit rates going up. You got to be in stocks that not only benefit rates going up, you got to be in stocks that benefit from inflation. That Inflation Reduction Act gets me the most. I was reading that this weekend. I really never read the thing, but I read it this weekend. What a scam. In 12 months. Remember, they said the reason he wrote the Inflation Reduction Act to reduce deficits, but deficits went up, not down. 129 billion, another 510 billion. They blame it on you and me. Inflation is up 3.4% annually. Why? Because the money supply and credit is expanding like crazy. Remember, when the money supply, what's money supply? That's everything you have, like in the banks, your coins, dollars, CDs, anything you can think of. Okay, that's money supply. And when they expand that money, first, when they expand the credit, that's what they're doing. They're expanding credit so you go out and buy, so companies can go out and buy, so companies can buy more of their own stock. They're expanding. Credit is expanding like we've never seen. Do you understand what that means? That means one hell of a crash. I mean, we had an enormous increase in debt and deficits by Biden. Why do you think we're not growing? Why do you think we're growing so slowly? I mean, you got to be nuts. We're going to reach $14 trillion in 1932. And you're saying, oh, rates are going to go down? What? No, rates are going to keep going up. So you got to be in the right stocks with rates going up. And we'll help you with that. Just go to my site, philsgang.com, or go to my site, philsgang.com, and click to where it says Get Started. What a joke. Inflation Reduction Act. All it did is increase inflation, didn't reduce a damn thing. Okay, make sure now, okay, you keep your eye on oil when it hits $62. Keep your eye on it when it hits $62. It's an important number. That could be where it may rally from.
You have been listening to Phil's Gang with your host, Phil Grande, on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Remember to visit Phil's website at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Or call the office, 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.